Hey guys, this is Chris from Empire Bricks and welcome to another LEGO Star Wars set review. Today we're having a look at set 9500, the Sith Fury class Interceptor. The set was released in 2012. It comes with 741 pieces. It has 3 minifigures and it retailed for $89.99 in dollars and $99.99 in euros. So this set is from the Old Republic line, based on some of the Star Wars games that you may or may not have played, and is a little bit different in that sense because there's not that many Old Republic sets around. uh, um, but this is by far the most unique one, I think, and it has some awesome stuff. So let's dive in right away. Let's start with the minifigures, as we always do. Starting off with the star of this set and one of the best minifigures ever made by LEGO is Darth Malgus, and this one really takes the cake. I've had this figure for a while now, and I've seen many other figures, and this one is still my favorite, or at least one of my favorite figures. He is very complete. I'll just get his lightsaber out of the way for a second because we can take a look at his front printing, which is pretty awesome. It's sort of a armored suit, very much like Darth Vader would wear, but a different one, obviously. There is some leg printing, and if we have a look at the back, we can see that there is matching back printing, even though he has a cape. Talking about the cape is a little bit different than any other cape that I've seen before, because the other capes tend to be wider at the bottom, and this one is kind of slim, which I think looks great. I wish all capes would come like this. Just the cape alone is just awesome. But it's kind of finished by this breathing apparatus that he has on, and that is a unique mold for this figure, I think. It has a very unique piece for the entire Star Wars line, and it's just totally awesome. I mean, even if you don't like the Darth Malgus figure, you could take this piece off and use it on anything you would like, and anything with this would just look awesome immediately. And the head has some obvious scarring and deformment. No secondary face, of course, because there is no helmet or hair to cover that up. There's also nothing on top of the head as well, so you can see the stud, but I don't think that's a big problem. And he comes with a metallic lightsaber hilt with a red blade. So awesome figure, unique to this set, and I think that this figure alone goes for about $30 now, making this set pretty valuable, because there's also a huge ship included. I'm going to put that here because Darth Malgus is not the only minifigure in this set. It comes with two Sith Troopers. They are the same, and they are unique for this set as well, even though they are different from the Sith Troopers from the Battle Pack. But basically the only difference is that these guys don't have leg printing, but all the rest is the same. So they have some basic back printing, some torso printing, and this awesome helmet, which I think is really cool. It's one of the cooler helmets that I've seen around. Just wish they had made more sets with these guys in it. Underneath the helmet you can find not an angry clone face, but an angry face, and they have the same face between the two of them, and they both come with a standard medium-sized blaster. Having said that, those were the minifigures. I'm going to put those to the side right now, and take the ship a little bit closer. So this set has 741 pieces, of which by far the most goes into the ship. And my first remark is that this does not really look like a 741 pieces ship, I think. But after I've built it, I can really understand why it has so many pieces. It's an amazing set to build. It has some kind of interesting techniques, stuff that I haven't seen before in LEGO sets or LEGO Star Wars sets, for that matter. And one of the special design features that I can show you, that you can still see from the outside, is this piece over here. It's a rubber piece, which kind of keeps these two blades together, because as you can see, over here they are a little bit further apart, but at the point. They are closer to each other. They're being held together by a rubber piece, and I think the look that they've tried to achieve is just super, and it's extremely accurate with the ship from the game. So I think that's really, really cool. But having said that, the ship overall just looks great. I mean, it's basically just gray and black, but still they've pulled off an amazing look. It has a certain feel to it. It looks really sleek, and it looks very complete. So I'm really happy with the looks. Going on to the features, there is, I would say, a ton of them, but on the other hand, it's pretty basic. And what I mean is that the functionality is not, it doesn't give a lot of play value, but for some reason you just really want to do those things. So if I have to pick it up for a while, I can show you guys that these wings actually flip open on both sides. I can do the same on the other side if I want to. Just a sec. And this makes the ship look absolutely fabulous. It has kind of the look of the ship that Darth Maul flies, but a little bit different. But it gives the whole thing an amazing feel, and I really wish I had a stand to put it on, just to show you guys how awesome this looks. But it has these wings, and for some reason you just really want to keep them, open them, close them, open them, close them. And another thing about these wings is that these two you can just pull up and then put them down again. But if we turn the ship around, you can see that the bottom two would obviously drop by itself just due to gravity. So they have this ball mechanism, as you can see over here, and it just snaps into place. So if you turn it around, those two flaps will not fall down. And I think that's just one of the amazing and great design features of this ship. Even though the wings are the same, or basically the same, just mirrored, so it's a little bit of a repetitive build, but there's just so much of this stuff inside. There's so much design and mechanics and stuff like that, that it really, really feels like you're building a huge, huge ship, and it kind of makes you feel like the mechanic, and I think that's great for a set. So the wings are feature number one. Feature number two is obviously the cockpit, which you can open if you want. You can open it twice, actually. So there's this plate part, which is attached to the canopy piece, which is a printed piece, a cool printed piece, but not that special. I believe it is unique for this set, but nothing really, springs to mind to whatever. There's not a specific thing that makes this canopy piece jump out from any other canopy piece. But still, it's nice to have a printed set and not a sticker. Inside, there is room for Darth Malgus, and you can flip out the control panel and put him inside. Although I have to recommend that you take off the cape, because this cape is kind of unique for this figure. And if you just, put him in there with the cape, and it will just get folded, and would it be kind of a waste. But if you want to, you can. You can even put him in there with his lightsaber. Would be kind of weird, but still, it does fit if you give him the correct position. And it has this kind of flap that lets you get in and out of the ship. So closing that up again, we can turn to the back of the ship, which has a door as well, which kind of follows the same mechanism. It's a door made of two parts, even though, as you could see, this one, the hinges have become a little bit loose. So just through the gravity, it will close. But I think that's something that just happened when Lego ages. It's nothing to do with the set design or anything. If you open it up, it shows you a space where you can obviously put your two Sith troopers. You could put their guns in the clip, so having his gun over here, I'll take it off and put it in the clip over here, which is a little bit hard to reach, but you can put it over there, as you can see, and then just have him stand. It's a little bit hard with the guns in to find the right space for these guys. because as you can see, if I put him like this, his arm will be sticking out, and if I close the door will close, but there is a little bit of space in between the ship and the door, but still works fine. If you really want to, you can put both of them in there. So that's a pretty neat feature, and I think that's a pretty large cargo space for a ship that effectively has only this as a cockpit. I mean, this is also big, but there's nothing inside of here. It's just basically the mechanics for the wings. But those wings are actually, attached in the middle of this thing. So this space over here is kind of used up for attaching the wings. The front is filled with the cockpit. So I think this is a very efficient design in terms of space and what you can put into the ship. And last but not least is the flick-fire missiles. I don't think that's a great feature. I mean, it has to have something to fire, and this set is from the period before the spring-loaded missiles. I think those would have been great for this set. You could kind of modify it to put those on, but I think you would see the same problem with the flick-fire missiles, is that you would really see the long missiles from the spring-loaded shooters. But they are here. There's two on every side, so they're here and they're over here. And you can, of course, flick them and they will go. Although I have to say that these flick-fire missiles are made out of two of these Technic pins. So there's one on top of the other with a cone in between, and they tend to break, or because they're so long, they tend to stick in here, or if you hit it too hard, then pieces will come off. So I'm not a big fan of these flick-fire missiles anyway, but I think these in particular are just in the wrong place for that matter. Having another look at the back, you can actually see the two engines. They are orange. I think I can take it off for a while. Orange transparent dish pieces. I think that's accurate with the real ship, or the ship from the game. But I think it would have looked better with pink or purple-ish color, which I think is maybe even more correct, but I'm not entirely sure. It kind of depends on which screenshot you take to have a look at the engines, but it's fine. It's only, I don't know, it kind of feels out of place, the orange. It has some red details, and the orange just feels out of place. But overall, I think this is an amazing set. Having looked at everything, just like I told you, it seems like there's tons of features because there's a lot of, you can move and open and close, and there's a lot of flaps. But all in all, there's not that much you can do with the ship because eventually you just have to put it down. So the wings, at least the bottom wings, will have to close. Making it a little bit weird to have the top wings open, so they'll have to close as well. It's kind of weird to leave the cockpit open. So all in all, this is a ship that you'll have on display, not for play that much. Also, if you pick it up in the middle, which I think is the logic place to do, you can see that it's kind of wobbly. The wings are attached. They won't fall off, but it just gives a little bit of a wobbly feel. So it's definitely not for kids, I guess, this set, but purely for display and just to complete your Lego Star Wars Sith collection, because I think this is one of the ships that you should have if you really like the Sith and you want to collect their sets. So, having a look at all the pros and cons, I think the pros are that this is an extremely good looking set, very accurate to the real deal. It has one of the coolest minifigures of all time, a good selection of minifigures with two Sith troopers as well. Maybe, I don't know, it would have been neat to have a droid of some kind, but there's just no droid that comes to mind that would have matched with this set. Any cons? It's kind of hard. I think it's a little bit wobbly. The wings are not attached that well, and I don't know, it could have used an extra feature or something that you could do, or an additional build. But all in all, I think this is a great set. And also, the retail price was $90 or €100. and it actually hasn't become that much more expensive over time. I guess because people don't play the Old Republic games anymore, that they're not that interested in this set, but that makes this a pretty good deal if you get it secondhand. New in box, they're pretty expensive, but I got this one for $30, which is an insane deal. But if you get it anywhere between 60 and 80, I think you have a great set with a insane minifigure, and you really have to do it. So guys, this was my review. I really hope you liked it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you at the next video.